Adobe announced this week that they are discontinuing Adobe Animate, the software used to make TV shows like Teen Titans Go, Smiling Friends, My Little Pony, and many of your favorite YouTube series. And most importantly, Snarky Little Brad.
Is this mahogany?
I am shocked and not shocked at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. Shocked because I didn't think they would just kill it. Not make it a priority? Sure. Not a ton of new features? Yeah. But outright kill it? No. And not shocked because Adobe. Okay, so let's go to the statement that they released. This is what Adobe said. We're contacting you to let you know that Adobe will be discontinuing Adobe Animate on March 1st, 2026. As an existing Animate user, you may continue using Animate, but please note that technical support will no longer be available after March 1st, 2027. Please note that access to your Animate files and project data will end on March 1st, 2027. To ensure a smooth transition, we encourage you to export your Animate FLA and XFL files to other formats such as SWF, SVG, and MP4 files before this date. Customers with a Creative Cloud Pro plan can use other apps to replace some of Animate's functionality, including Adobe Express Premium for quick creation of animated videos and graphics, Adobe After Effects for more complex keyframe animation using the Puppet tool. All Creative Cloud members can also use free animation presets in Adobe Express to animate text, images, and design elements. Review this Adobe Help Center article. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact Adobe Support. We thank you for being an Adobe Animate user and a valued Creative Cloud member. So that's the whole release. The part that scares me just a little bit is this one. Please note that access to your Animate files and project data will end on March 1st, 2027 to ensure a smooth transition, blah, blah, blah. Access to your Animate files. Read that again. Access to your Animate files. Now, it was implied already that you won't be able to download the app after March of next year. Like, poof, it's gone. But this is definitely a step further. You won't be able to access that app at all to access your files. Software installed on my computer is going away. Little background here, Adobe software phones home whenever you launch it to make sure you have an active Creative Cloud account. So even if you have Animate downloaded, installed on your computer, they can remotely say, nope, we don't want you to have this anymore. One of the bullet points on their Q&A page is this: I have already downloaded Animate. Will the app still work? And they say yes, Animate will continue to work. That contradicts some of the other points they made in the FAQ. So what I'm assuming this means is that it will continue to work until March of next year, or March 1st, 2029 for enterprise customers. Whenever you discontinue something that maybe isn't the most popular program that you have, it's going to be bad news for some people. And I 100% get that. On some level, there's no sugarcoating bad news. And I am a little bit extra salty here because I use the software every single week. It's software that I like. It's software that I depend on. And honestly, it's the one piece of software that has kept me linked into Adobe's Creative Cloud system. Predator floor? I expected this place to be more...
There's a leopard eating my face!
Never mind, this is what I expected. I can replace Photoshop, I can replace Premiere, I can replace Adobe Illustrator. I couldn't easily replace Animate. Too much of my workflow was already built on it, and the alternatives that are out there are pretty expensive and kind of hard to learn. It was doable, but it was just easier to stay in the ecosystem I already knew. But there are a dozen ways that they could have handled this transition, and Adobe has chosen the absolutely worst one. Why not just release the app into the wild? If they don't want to make money on it, fine. But Adobe should just stick it on their site. Let me download the exe file. Warn me that it's not supported again. That's fine. Heck, let me download it only if I have an active Creative Cloud account. I'm okay with that too. In this scenario, Adobe doesn't really have to do anything. I want nothing from them. Just let me open the files that I made. Let me export artwork from them. Let me go back to them and see how I worked something out. In the email, they say, make sure that you take your FLA, XFL files and other formats and export them into SWF, SVG, and MP4 files before this date. That isn't an equivocal file format. Those are all flat, compressed. Those are not original files at all that you can work from. Another option, at least let me keep it running on my computer since it's already installed there. Just remove the phone home option in this particular program. So many low effort ways that they could have done this better. And I hope that they do. I don't think it's too late. They have a year. I doubt Adobe's managers are sitting around a conference room table saying, how can we kick our customers in the nuts today? But man, sometimes it feels like it. I feel like I say this in every single Adobe video that I have ever done. Trust is built one small act at a time. And every time you break that trust, it takes 10 good acts at least to build the trust back to where it was. This is a tiny thing, but you have the opportunity to add a nickel to the trust jar here, so that the next time you go on social media and say that you are committed to helping bring your creators' visions to life, it doesn't ring so hollow. Over on X, Thomas Ridgewell summed this up really well. Truly vile that Adobe are opting to kill Animate Flash with no contingencies in place for the thousands of animators, including every single one I work with, who are going to lose access to this program they've been mastering for up to 3 decades. It's an industry-killing move. Adobe are under no obligation to continue to update support Animate, but if they lock us out of an entire program after forcing us into a subscription model just to access it, it's nothing short of evil. I truly hope that the software remains at least usable in some form. There are some apps that Adobe is going to support forever. Photoshop, not going anywhere. Premiere Pro, After Effects. But what about Fresco? That's a pet project. I can see them killing that off. What about Illustrator? It's a workhorse for a lot of illustrators, but it's not one of their tentpole programs. InDesign? There's a lot of overlap with Acrobat and Adobe Express. As long as I've run this YouTube channel, I've been a proponent of paid software. Heck, I even defend software subscriptions, no matter how unpopular of a stance that is in the comment section. There is a place in this world for open source free software, and I'm glad it's there. And there's a place for low-priced quality software like Procreate. But there's also a place for really, really good pro-level software that you can truly and deeply rely on and build your career on. I need that software to be crazy reliable. I'm okay with people making a profit to build that software for me. I'm okay with paying people to make that software for me. Keep it running, keep it stable. That sort of thing. When Adobe Creative Cloud moved over to a subscription model, that was the promise. You use our software, we will use this money to support it. It was really expensive and it wasn't for everybody, but I'm glad it exists. And the counter argument I see you guys make in the comments all the time is, for now, Adobe could take away access to your software at any time. And I was always like, they are not going, God, this is a business. They're not gonna do that, guys. Oh my God, they did it. I'm gonna pin a comment down below. It's gonna say, I told you so, Brad. If anyone wants to just copy and paste that to save yourself a little time from typing the whole thing out, you've earned it. Go ahead, you have every right. So here's another post I came across, this one from Freddie Elsom, who's the animation supervisor on Gumball. He said this: there are active and planned TV productions built around Adobe Animate's pipeline. Seems like an attempt from Adobe to limit the options for animators and studios to encourage them to use AI products that they have been pushing so heavily. I want to focus on the first part of that comment, the part about the production pipeline. If you are working on an animated series and it is up for renewal in the next year or so, you have to factor in the cost of moving all your pre-existing assets over to new software, recreating the characters, re-rigging everything, building new cameras. Not to mention that animators are often hired based on the software they know. So if you were hired for that show because you knew Adobe Animate, you are going to have to learn whatever new software that they pick up to use. Or the studio may choose to just fire all those people and hire people who already know the software. There's a lot of upfront time-consuming costs to animation that once your pipeline is in place, it makes it a little easier to keep making the same thing over and over again. You just have a lot of those assets already set up in your program and you can just reuse some of them. If you rebuild all that, you have to factor all those costs into your new season. Going to the studio and saying, we need 25% more budget to redo a bunch of work we've already done on this, there's a pretty good chance the studio might look at that and just cancel your show. All right, so I need to choose a new program. Snarky Brad can't exist in Adobe Animate going forward too much longer. So I've been looking into 2 programs. There's Toon Boom and there's Moho. I know a lot of you are gonna say, hey, Blender, because you know how much I already love Blender, and as much as I enjoy it, it's great for 3D animation. I guess it's pretty good for 2D animation too. It doesn't have the speed and turnaround time that I'm looking for videos like this. I I need to kind of work pretty quick. It's just a little bit clunky and overkill for what I do. Right now, Moho is the leader because it's a one-time purchase, and while Toon Boom seems amazing, the word on the street is it's a little bit harder to learn because it could do so much more. Also, that's another monthly cost, and I'm kind of really digging the idea of a one-time purchase at the moment. There's other apps that are kind of smaller in scale. There's Procreate Dreams, very cool app. There's free apps like Krita, also very cool. Those are more like frame-by-frame animation things, tools, and I'm looking for something else. What do you all think? Thank you for letting me talk about my first world problems today. Hit me up down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.